everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Team Lead Talks podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Becker. On today's show, I have a really good buddy of mine, partner of mine, Raymond Sjolseth out of Chicago.
What's up, Andrew? Thanks
What's
for
up,
having me
man?
today, man.
Yeah. Thank you for being on here. Ray, we've known each other for like how long now? Almost a year? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like forever, though. Like, it's a pretty easy relationship, dude. Thanks for that.
Right. So we're just kind of talking episode. There's a lot that you have going on, but I really want listeners to learn about the programs that you have, the Agent Impact Group, your Facebook group. So before we get into all that, you mind just giving us a little bit of your background, how you got into real estate, so people can kind of understand where this is coming from?
Yeah, we'll go high level. So, I've been in real estate for 33 plus years, but I was never on the front side of real estate, so to speak. I was always an investor, but that was never my primary business. Excuse me. My primary business was making products. Over the last 30 plus years, I've made 450 different products across 12 different vertical markets and always used real estate investing as just a tool in and out of properties in 14 different states across the USA, single family, multifamily, joint ventures, syndications, a lot of real estate investment trusts. I love REITs. And when COVID hit, I had a massive loss, man. Like, I lost a big company on a patented paint product that I own with a couple partners. One of my partners literally passed away. He was also the CFO of our company.
Man.
Supply chain went crazy and I had to pivot. So I said, okay, I think it's time to get out of the product business and focus on real estate for the next 10 years. So I started coaching agents. That led me to a group program, that led me to writing books, that led me to a lot of partners, including you.
Right.
And, fast forward to today, the way we operate, one of the arms of my life, so to speak, is Agent Impact Group. And under Agent Impact Group, we have a Facebook group with 342,000 members, an email newsletter that we send out once, often twice a week with 180,000 plus subscribers. We do weekly webinars. We do weekly virtual coffees. We do weekly coaching sessions and trainings. We do a lot. And our goal is to curate the best of the best and deliver it to all of the members within our community, which actually totals about 600,000 people that we're trying to make an impact with.
That's awesome. You are very into real estate now. It sounds like you have a lot going on. It's really cool that a lot of people would have a company fail, an idea fail, and it's really hard to kind of pivot and pick yourself back up, right? But you kind of just said, okay, this happened. What can I do next? And then you chose real estate. You had kind of, touched it here and there with your investing, and then you really kind of took it really serious after the patent for your paint company kind of went away, right?
I mean, I think it's one of the best vehicles, right? Like, we all get to choose what we want to drive.
Right.
So I think that real estate is my vehicle of choice, specifically for the next 10 years, to build a legacy and something that can provide me MRR, right, through investing, which is really what I'm going for.
Right.
But I think the beautiful thing about real estate is that you can build whatever you want. The overwhelming thing is you can build whatever you want.
Right.
And for me, like, COVID gave me the clarity of deciding what I wanted to build and what that looked like.
Very cool. So let's talk about Agent Impact Group.
Sure.
Let's talk about what you do, how you help people. It's kind of a big endeavor also. So I'll kind of leave it up to you. Where would you like to start?
I mean, let's start at the beginning. Let's start what happens when somebody says, hey, I want to be a real estate agent, right? They go to real estate school. They are taught to be compliant and not to get sued. They get their license, which is all real estate school teaches you to do. And then you get thrown out of an airplane with no parachute. Like, good luck.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you that as an agent, you're 1099, right? Unless you own or operate a brokerage or are an actual employee at a brokerage. And nobody gives you a roadmap. And for me, that's where I saw a lot of failure and why the industry is upside down a lot is because nobody understands that they're a business owner.
And I think for those of you who, I don't know, aren't in real estate yet or thinking about that, what I think, Ray, this is from my own personal opinion, but I think what you're getting at, you study for the real estate exam and then like how big an acre is by square miles or whatever. 98% of what you learn to study for and learn for that test is not really, you can't really take what you learn and use it to be a successful agent.
That's not
You
relevant.
Yeah, it's not relevant, but you have to take it to get into the world, as a real estate agent. But then it almost turns into what? Just marketing and sales, branding. So it's like a lot of people I think don't know that, but then they very quickly learn that. And I think that's where Agent Impact Group can really make a difference with those people that are like, "Oh my gosh, this is nothing like the test. Where do I go from here?" Right?
Yeah, I think in any business, once you identify what you want to do and you know you have an audience to sell to, the next step is visibility. Like you have to have visibility. You have to, one of the books coming out that I'm writing is Be Seen and Get Found. And that's all it's about is visibility as a business owner. And visibility can mean a lot of different things, right? It can having a digital footprint. It could be having a bus bench. It could be publishing your own local community book. It can be sending out emails once or twice a week so you stay top of mind. It could have mailing people notepads so that they're on their counter and they're constantly seeing your face and your phone number.
Yep.
It's unlimited what visibility means, but that is one of the most overlooked simple marketing plans is just being seen.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I and potentially my team took for granted was we were doing a lot of business, but we didn't really think we had to stay top of mind for everyone at all times. And then we'd see someone we know work with another agent, we'd be like, what happened? And then the feedback was like, well, I didn't know you were still an agent, or I didn't know you did this price point, or I didn't know this, because they never heard from us. So that hurt, hearing that and like getting that feedback. But I think that's super important. You have to tell people you're an agent, because I could tell you I'm an agent once, and then I'm like, oh, Ray will always remember that. But then you go, 10 seconds later, you're living your life and you're picking up your kids and you're doing all this other stuff. And then when the time comes, you don't remember that I told you that. And then you just go and find someone that did stay top of.
100%. It's no, I'll tell you, when I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, and I moved here to Chicago in 2012. And when I moved here, I found this like awesome insurance agent. He was young, super communicative, fantastic. He had one office. And over 10 years, I watched him grow significantly to 3 offices, to like 100 plus employees, and ghost disappeared, right? I
Yeah.
get his newsletter, but the personal touches, the personal text messages, the personal emails, the personal phone calls, hey man, I see you have 3 cars, you have an umbrella policy, you have homeowners, blah, blah, blah. All that went away. And when that went away, he went away from my mind.
Right.
Right. So I found somebody new
Yep.
that was less expensive and more communicative and would give me the attention I was looking for to help me figure out, like, hey, my daughter's in college now. What do I do with her car and her policy? But she's going to be home during the summers, right? Or I might drive her car, like whatever the situation is. I think it's the same in real estate. Like, just because you get good at something doesn't mean you stop doing it, right? And that's what happens with pipelines all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. So you coach at the very start of anyone's real estate career, or just people who have been in there, trying to make it work for quite some time with no success. You coach to stay in front of people, get seen, get seen. Can we dive into a little bit more of the tactical things that one could do in order to stay top of mind?
Sure. Where do you want to start? That's a deep conversation.
That is, what are you recommending when someone says, "Hey, I can't get business, drum up business," and you're like, "Well, does anyone know you're a real estate agent? Where are you? I did a Google search and I can't find you."
Yeah.
You kind of have to start with an audit of who that person is and what they have out there, and then what do you do from there?
Yeah. Do they have a digital footprint today? Like, where are you right now? That's what we need to know. We need to know, where are you right now? So if I go and I search Andrew Becker, what am I going to find? Am I going to find a LinkedIn profile that's half baked? Am I going to find a Facebook profile that doesn't say anything about who you are or what you do? Am I going to find a nextdoor.com profile? Like, what am I going to find? So we start there, do an assessment of where somebody may be at. And then step one is optimize all profiles, right? So even if you're not using the platform, Like if you're a Facebook guy and that's all you want to focus on is get really good at Facebook, great. But we're still going to optimize Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube if you have a channel or
Right.
you have any visibility, nextdoor.com, Alignable, Trustpilot, Thumbtack, any of these profiles, house.com, we're going to optimize. They all need to have the same profile pic. They all need to look the same, feel the same, who you are, what you do, how to get in touch.
I
Right?
think that is such a foundation level item that so many people overlook. I talk to a lot of agents, as you do too, a lot of team leaders, and it's really frustrating and just it's crazy to me when I like Google someone's name and I get a profile with, the default LinkedIn, no profile icon picture or no phone number or no email. And this is a world now where everything is digital, right? So it's not like I know some people still do like benches and
Sure.
billboards and stuff like that, but 99 out of 100 times, if someone thinks about getting an agent, they go where? They go online. And I think that's super important and something that really makes a lot of sense to be found, but like look professional, sound professional, and have almost like your collective branding, like you said, look and feel the same. So they're not like confused about who you are or what you do.
Yeah, I think it's about being cohesive. Like ultimately, like that's what we're trying to do is that when someone searches for you, they're like, oh yeah, this guy's all over the place.
Right.
Right? Like you can be omnipresent without being omnipresent, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah.
You can have a beautiful LinkedIn profile, even though you're not posting all the time. LinkedIn is still going to rank
Yep.
on Google, and your profile should look as complete as possible. So people know, like, hey, this dude's serious, right? He's a realtor serving this area. This is how I get in touch with him. Here's a link to his website if I want to start a home search or whatever the case may be. Yeah,
Right.
let me go do that.
Yeah.
I do think it's foundational. And that's why it's like number one in all of our programs. Be seen and get found.
Right.
That's number one.
Yeah. Super easy, kind of like baseline level stuff that you can just knock out to make you have a good start. Right. So when you do get seen or, people want to look you up, they're like, I know what this person does. And I know that, he or she is a real estate agent. Let's talk about, because this is a big thing nowadays too. It seems like everyone's talking about like content, 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 putting out good content. It's got to be not generic, super unique and individual. How do you coach these people now that their LinkedIn profiles and everything are matching? Like, what do you recommend for content so they can someone goes there and wants to see the real estate agent selling homes or like in real estate doing stuff, right? So what do you tell people?
Yeah, I just want to throw something in there. That's content is actually step 3 in our plan. Step
Yeah, what's
2
step two?
is getting organized. It's
Okay.
about having a CRM and or a website, right? Like that's where you come in with billions. Is that how can people get organized to communicate? That's number 1. Okay, so you can be seen, you can get found. Great. You're seen and you can get found. Now what? How do I talk to somebody?
Right.
Like you need a methodology, a process to communicate with them regularly. So you see what comes in your inbox. You can set a follow up. You can subscribe them to a sequence, like whatever the case may be. And then the other part of that, it being organized, is giving them something to look at, a website. Whether it's your own or through a third party service, it doesn't matter. Like they need to look at something so they can see the services you provide or start a home search or come into your world. Number 3 is content. And the way that I look at content is it's 20% real estate, 80% personal. So, Andrew, if you were in our program and you're like, all right, man, I have visibility, like I'm organized, I got my CRM set up, I want to go after buyers. What's next? Great. What we're going to do is we are going to look at your interests and say, what are your interests? Do you like to play pickleball? Do you like to mountain bike? Do you ride dirt bikes? Do you like boating? Let's make a list of all of that stuff. Go and join all of those community groups. Okay. Talk about a newsletter and then put together a framework where your content becomes your interests so
Hmm.
that A, you want to do it.
Easy to do, right? You're not faking it.
Exactly. It's easy. It's easy to be authentic, and you can attract the people that it's easy for you to work with and hang out with. This does not happen overnight. Like content is no different than building a sales pipeline. Okay. You're going to build a customer pipeline. You're going to build a content pipeline. You're going to build a marketing pipeline. Like all this stuff compounds and happens over time. You don't just snap your fingers and it happens overnight, right? No different than this podcast right here. You didn't just start it and get 20,000 subscribers. You had to work up to that.
I wish I could. And if anyone
Yeah.
out there knows the secret, let me know. But yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. You have to put effort into it, but you have to put, you have to critically think about your next strategic move. You can't just kind of throw stuff on the wall and see what sticks. I think you have to have a plan, and then you just have to go and execute it. And then at that point too, you're not doing like 1,000 different things at once. You're kind of just following this framework outline of what a lot of people that you've had success with have been doing, and have been doing it really well, because it's a methodical, step by step process.
Well, and it is focus, right? Like where focus goes, energy flows is a real thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. So that's big too. I mean, one thing that I like that you just said is like make your content around stuff that you would almost do anyways, right? Like you go mountain biking. I post a lot about like books that I read and different things like that, because that's a really big hobby of mine and I'm really into it. And then I think people would, one of the biggest things also is like when they find you, you're approachable, right? You're not just like this high almighty kind of person that they're not sure, is this person a real person that I can even reach out to? It's like, oh, they mountain bike, so do I. It's kind of like a pre icebreaker for that conversation to get started.
100%.
Yeah. So, okay. So, kind of doing an audit, just to summarize the first three here, doing an audit, getting organized around like a website and a CRM so you don't squander any leads that come in. So, you're kind of prepared to start collecting names, collecting numbers for your outreach purposes, and then the content part. So, how many, if we can zoom out real quick, how many levels or different steps are in this? We've talked about the first three so far.
Yeah. So in my success path, there's 7.
Okay.
Right. So number 1, be seen, get found. Number 2, get organized. Number 3, content. And I call it a toolbox. Like, what are we putting in your toolbox? Right. So whether it's sellers, buyers, investors, FISBOs, expireds, other off market opportunities, what are we building in your toolbox to bring people to you?
Mm-hmm.
And that for me, the goal of a content toolbox is how do I continue to add value? Because if I can figure out how to continue to add value, follow up doesn't become work. It becomes easy, right? I can help this person with A, B, C, and D, and this is the way I do it. I can give them a guide. I can give them a booklet. I can send them a podcast episode, right? Whatever it is, that's what we want to build in that toolbox over time. The next step is what I call the success cycle. It's 5 things you need to do in less than 4 hours a day consistently to build a beautiful business over time, right? That will be lead generation, set appointments, add people to your database, go to those appointments, and create a piece of content. If you do those 5 things every single day consistently, you will have an unbelievable business. It's not a matter of if it works, it's a matter of if you can be consistent.
Right.
Right.
So the remaining 4 of those 5 steps really all hinge on that first step, right? The lead generation part.
Yeah.
That's a whole, I mean, we could spend a lot of time on lead gen. That's like a whole nother podcast episode. But how are you recommending and giving guidance to people around lead gen activities?
So inside my program, one of the first things that you're going to do is take a strengths assessment. And we're going to look at who you are intrinsically as a human before we decide what lead generation is for you. Because if you are a shy, introverted person, the last thing I'm going to do is hand you a list with 100 names and say, hey, go cold call these people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Or go door knock this neighborhood. The more aware you are of who you are and how you operate, the easier lead generation is going to be.
Yeah. This comes off more naturally, right? As you
It's
get paired with what you think might work best for them.
Yeah, and like we live in a different time today. You don't have to cold call 100 or 300 people a day. You don't have to door knock neighborhoods. Like there are so many ways to get visibility based upon your strengths and who you are and your interests and what you're trying to do, that if you lead with that, real estate can come second,
Mm-hmm.
right? Meaning that people are going to come to you if they understand who you are and they vibe with what's happening.
Right. No, very cool. I think you hit the nail on the head right there. So, what is the next step in your 7-step process?
So after the success cycle, it's accountability. So now you know what you should be doing on a daily basis that can translate onto your calendar, right? And you can time block, set up focus sessions for what you're doing, when you're doing, how you're doing it. And the goal of the success cycle is to leave you plenty of time for listing appointments, showings, life, right? Kids,
Hmm.
family, whatever, all that kind
Right.
of good stuff. And then after accountability, it's measurement. Like you have to be able to measure the metrics to know whether you're making progress or not.
Right.
Then the last step is 90-day cycles. We run everything in 90-day cycles. What's working, what's not, what you love, what you hate, what you want to do more of, what you want to do less of, what's driving the results. And the end of this first cycle, going through all of this, is what's the 80-20? What's the 20% of things you need to do to get 80% of your results? And how do we keep getting better at that?
So you start in this program and then go through, is it the first 90 days where you're kind of teaching people about this quarterly cycle here?
It's this framework. Yeah, I start with a simple 1-page Google Doc. They make a template, their name goes on it, and we build it together. What do you want?
Hmm.
Where are you right now? What's your daily schedule? What can it be that you can commit to create the most repeatable day in your real estate business?
Right.
What tools do you have? Email, phone, CRM, WhatsApp group, Facebook group, whatever the case may be. And then let's pick 3 things to get done in the next 90 days. So 90 days from now, you snap your fingers, you got 1 listing, 2 buyers, pipeline of 100 people, you've added 250 to your database, and you started a Facebook group. If that's what you want to accomplish, then we reverse engineer how you get that done over the next 90 days and back into it with daily, tiny little steps, right? Because a lot of people think that the tools are the system. And I don't agree with that theory. I think the system is your day and the tools are what creates leverage so you can systemize your day
Right.
and make something as easy as possible for you not to fail.
Yeah. I think the key, like you just said, you have a goal that's this big goal, but then you break it into tiny little steps. It can be super overwhelming if your goal, you have this massive, ambitious goal, and then you're like, where do I start? So, there's two different kinds of like, where do I start? It's do it on my own, or work with someone like yourself in your program where it's like you've been around real estate for 33 plus years, kind of done trial and error and all this different, what works, what doesn't work, and you kind of put together the best of the best to optimize their effort, right? So some things will work, some things won't. Obviously, everyone is going to be different, but at least they're not starting from scratch, and they're kind of expediting their way into the real estate world that much faster than just trying to figure it out on their own.
Well, and what I tell everybody is, if you want to learn how to be a real estate agent, I'm not the person for you. If you want to learn how to build an unbelievable real estate business, I'd love to work with you, right? Because you're going to learn how to be a real estate agent by being a real estate agent.
Yeah, there's no other way. You have to go
You
in
have to do
and
it. Like you have to
transaction.
do your first offer. You have to do your first contract. You have to get your first buyer. Like you have to do that work,
Right.
right? Like you can't get out of the lab, man. Like you got to be in there doing the work in order to get it done.
No, 100%.
But there are a lot of different ways to build a real estate business.
Yeah, like you said earlier, there's almost too many. So if you can get that one focus, that's how you really, do one thing, do it really well. Become an expert at whatever that one thing is, and then now create systems, processes, maybe leverage someone else to eventually do it on your behalf or for you, and then go to number 2, then go to number 3, and then that's how
Yeah.
you really build this portfolio of, different real estate niches that you want to get into and do for your career.
Yeah, and the one thing that I want to say too, Andrew, like, you've done an amazing job of building a team, and I know this is a team-based podcast, is that even if you're a solo agent, you still have a team. You really, really do. You just have to learn to leverage it, and you have to learn how to have people contribute to your business by asking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. That's awesome. So that's kind of like your 90 day. What's the program called, by the way, just in case someone's
It's just
interested?
be better, build better. And the
Be
premise of
better.
the program is that to build anything better, you have to be better. It starts as an inside job.
Cool. So we'll add the website for that
Sure.
to the description here. But let's talk about like, okay, someone goes through your be better, build better. Uh, and then you have all this other stuff that you do with, you mentioned before, you have And I know a lot of this because I participate in a lot of it with you, which is incredible
So fun.
knowledge sharing community. But let's talk about that agent impact group.
Yeah, it's a community. It's community based. There's a lot of Facebook groups out there, and the quality of some are better than others. And
Right.
since the inception of AI and bots and all this stuff, some of them have been taken over and are operated by bots, and
Yeah. Seems like it.
you can tell those groups.
Right.
One of the things Debbie and I are really proud of is the community that we've built between the Facebook group, the email list, the virtual coffees we hold, the partners we've curated to run webinars with. We're really proud of that. We feel we bring the best of the best to the agents that are there. No fluff, no BS, just great quality people and great quality products that all do different things based upon what they're trying to do,
Right. And
right?
the
You want
beauty
to
of
run.
it, Ray, is if, it doesn't, if it's not on your radar or it's something you're not interested in today, there's so much variation. I'll talk about, for example, like your Thursday morning coffees, the virtual coffees. There's like, I mean, you know the topics because you host it, but like run through it. It's like lead gen, content, all this awesome stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, literally, like we do lead generation, we do content, we do tools, we do analytics, right? We do SaaS softwares that are out there. And we bring in special guests for flipping, right? Like we bring you on to talk about team CRMs and the difference a CRM could make in profitability, right? From losing money or leaving 30 million a year on the table to profitable, adding another 100 mil to your business, right? Like all these things matter. And it's just a different approach based upon A, tools, B, experience with the people that created the tools.
Right.
Like there's just so much out there. There's so many platforms, right? There's LinkedIn. So we brought a LinkedIn specialist. There's Google. So we brought in a Google specialist, right? There's YouTube. So we bring in a YouTube specialist. And, again, we try to curate the best out of the best that are out there to bring in and educate people. So people aren't so lost, I guess is the best way to do it, right? Because
Right.
Google will tell us anything we want to know. Best CRM for realtors. Bam, 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 bam. First, you get sponsored ads, right? Then you get organic search. Then you get people also ask, yada, yada, yada. And then you get, other searches on the bottom of that Google page, which just leads you down a rabbit hole. And before you know it, you're 8 hours in, you've made zero progress and you're more confused than when you started.
Yeah, that's
Like,
that's the problem. There's just oversaturation of so many different ways you can go. But a community like yours kind of like almost like organizes that chaos for them. And then if they want to learn about a certain, individual niche or, category of lead gen, you send out emails. They're like, "Oh, I really want to know Facebook ads." And then it's the beauty of it too, right? It's free for anyone to join, right? Or to participate in.
yep. Yeah, 100% free. Absolutely. But you just gave me an idea. Maybe we should rebrand to Organized Chaos. Like that's not a bad
I
idea.
just trademarked that. You can't
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's all free. Like for anybody listening, we invite you to be part of the community. We'd love to have you if you're not in the Facebook group or you're not on the email list, like subscribe. We just try to over deliver and value.
Right. All right. So that's Agent Impact Group. But let's talk about your Facebook group for a little bit. You have
Sure.
almost 300, almost 400,000 people in your Facebook group.
Yep.
How are you? It's a lot of people to keep interested, right? Like, how are you doing this? It's kind of like if you guys think about this, you're an agent, you want to get seen and found, but you have to remain relevant and produce content. You're not an agent, but your audience is agents. So how are you keeping them engaged in addition to all this other stuff we just talked about?
Yeah, I mean, the foundation of the group, Debbie originally started it, and it was referrals, right? Like she had a window covering business and she was meeting a ton of agents, and they were 80% of her business, if not more. And she threw the group together, and then it grew organically. And then I jumped in with her, and we've grown it significantly. And I think while it's still very active in the referral space, as far as, hey, I'm looking for an agent in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm in Chicago, 25% referral fee, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
we just try to keep delivering value. Like we make our partners moderators of the group so they can contribute, they can answer questions about their products. Again, it's highly curated from our standpoint. Like we work hard to keep it clean and not spammy and promotional,
Or AI bots.
or AI bots,
Yeah.
so that we can just deliver value when somebody has a question. Like, we don't want agents to feel alone, because at the core, agents are entrepreneurs, even though most don't realize that until either it's too late
Yeah.
and, they're failing their way out of the business, or they're so lost or sad or depressed or all these other things that like really happen that we see for agents. We just want to know, like, you don't have to be alone. There's a community over here that can offer guidance if you're willing to do the work. And like, that's the key point. You have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to forget everything you were taught. You have to be willing to unlearn being a W-2 employee. And
Yep.
you have to realize that, hey, I decided to take control of my life and start a business. I'm now a startup founder. I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, what is my next step? And like, if
Yeah.
we can contribute to helping you take just that one step forward, little by little, 1% better every day, as they say, like, you're going to get to where you need to be, but it's not a quick business.
Yeah. It's funny even when I started a real estate team, I started my team in 2013 and since kind of moved out on from sales. But you don't really know or think of yourself, oh, I'm being an entrepreneur now. I'm starting a startup. But in reality, it's a new business venture and it can be incredibly lonely. So finding these communities and like-minded individuals that are going through the same kind of thing, it means a lot. It can be super lonely, super
Mhm.
frustrating, super hard, but it doesn't have to be. Quite frankly, man, that was one of the I think you and I joined your group before we even knew of each other,
Mhm.
right? And then really I was really excited about being in that group just because of the level of information that I was learning from the group and all the opportunities. I think I actually reached out to Debbie to,
Mhm.
in some shape or form, and then through Debbie, you and I met. And
Mhm.
then, the rest is history there. But
Yep.
Debbie, just in case, you know, people out there are wondering who it is, do you mind just giving her a little bit of a background bio here?
Yeah, Debbie's my business partner in Agent Impact Group and the original founder of the Real Estate Agent Referral Network, as we call it, inside our big group. And the same with our newsletter. She's fantastic. She's been she's been in and around the business for 25 plus years. She finally just got her real estate license and is getting started in New Mexico. So it's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how you and I kind of got linked up, and we're doing a bunch of different stuff together, which is also really exciting. We won't make this podcast episode about that, but that just kind of tells you the type of people that are inside of this group. You walk the walk. You not only talk the talk, but you actually walk the walk too, and you provide so much value to people. It's really amazing because there are a bunch of different people out there and groups that don't. And it's tough, right? You got to choose and you could choose wrong. But for anyone that is kind of feeling that way, like they don't really know where to go, I highly, highly recommend joining their group and getting on your newsletter because there's so much great content and value that you can really just take one thing from what you guys do in any given month, and that could change the direction of their business and their life.
Yeah, and for everybody listening, we'll put a link in the description to join our private community. On that community, I think we have 10 or 12 different courses built out in the form of workshops that can change your life. Like, one of them is a 4-hour lead generation course with me. One of them is a for sale by owner course. One of them is how a house works. One of them is a Facebook messaging course. One of them is a LinkedIn course. One of them is loss mitigation for clients in foreclosure. There's just so much stuff that we try to package everything and make it available publicly so that people can take what they need, right? But with that being said, like, you can't learn everything at once.
Yeah.
So if you can identify what you need as the next thing in your business and go and focus on that, you'll make more progress than most people just trying to pack, 10 courses into a week and saying, okay, I'm good. I learned all this stuff.
Yeah,
It's
you're
not
just
how you
gonna forget
learn.
it like
Yeah.
immediately. You gotta kind of go slow, learn what you learn, and then go execute. I think the biggest thing here is like you could take a lead gen course, whether you pay for it, whether it's free, whether you YouTube it yourself. But if you don't go out and put the effort in to execute, nothing's ever gonna happen. No one's coming to you. You have to be super proactive about all this.
Well, and consumption isn't retention, right? Like that's not how it works.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, all the stuff you do, right? You every time you're like, oh, I'm getting into this. I'm like, man, when does this guy sleep? He does so much stuff, but it's really awesome. If you're not in the community yet, get into the community. Again, we'll provide all of the different links in your websites, for anyone to join.
I love it. Thanks,
Yeah.
Andrew.
Well, it was really awesome having you, Ray. I know
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for having me.
yeah, I know you have a lot more to share. There's no way we would be able to share it all, but I highly recommend. I mean, today, every Thursday is your virtual coffee, right? Every Thursday.
Yep, 10 a.m. EST. We'll put a link to that. Please join us. There's over 100 agents that join us.
Yeah,
It's a good time.
love to see you on there. So I know you're busy. I really appreciate your time this morning, and take care, man.
Sounds good. See you soon.
All right,
Bye.
bye.